I guess I can take it. Sorry. Um, it's not happening. Anyways, there was a Shabbaton that I had to take care of, and I was like too busy with it. Actually, a couple of families were there. One of them was Nurola family. I hope they enjoyed it. That was number one. Who else was there? We had one of our gentlemen here was there. Awesome. Yeah, they didn't make any trouble, I promise. So they were like paying attention. They davened well. You could tell your principal here, so they're going to find a good shidduch. All right, Bezat Hashem. Put in your resume. He was by every single davening. I promise you that it was awesome, guys. So you could tell your sisters if you're in the shidduch age. I'm just kidding. Stupid jokes. Yeah, I'm getting into things that don't belong to me. But anyways, guys, let's forget about all the jokes. We're gonna do something on the parsha. I don't remember what I was learning with you guys, honestly.
Right time to get married.
Yeah, but it was on the parsha or something. Okay, okay. So we're gonna continue with the. You guys remember? We're gonna continue with the parsha a little bit. Maybe we get to some other stuff later on. You know, this week's parsha actually one of the things that we have is one of the sad parts of the parsha that we learn. We learn about the death of Rachel Imenu. You know, Rachel, our mother, was the most beloved wife of Yaakov, no question. Right? He went through the whole trouble just for the sake of Rachel. I think she was the younger one. I don't know if they were. I don't think they were younger than the maids. You know, the third and fourth wife of Yaakov, but she was younger than Leah, and she was the first one that passed away. So now we find something very, again, different, very strange, that Yaakov buries her on the road. He doesn't even bother to take him to the city. Forget about Marat HaMachpelah. You know, Marat HaMachpelah, Hebron, over there you have Adam and Chava buried. Doesn't even do that to take him to the city, to a normal place. He buries her on the road. So we do find actually later on in Parashat Vayechi that Yaakov is very aware that Yosef is complaining about it. He's not happy with it. Why? Because when he wants to give a bracha to Yosef, he says, you know what, I buried your mother on the road. You know, anybody has gone to Kever Rachel, right? A lot of you, I'm sure, have gone. Right? Even today, it's the middle of the road. There's nothing around it. You have a lot of walls to protect us, you know, from the terrorists not to attack. But really, there's no city around it. Middle of the road, she's buried. So again, we find in the Torah that the Torah says that Meita alay Rachel baderech. And Parshat Vayechi says Rachel died in the middle of the road. So two of the Mefarshim, the Sforno, you have other Mefarshim that Rashbam, I think, they say Yaakov was telling Yosef, bringing a reason. He says, you know, I know you're upset at me. I'm telling you, take me all the way to Marat HaMachpelah because it's a very holy place. But I didn't even do it to your mother. I buried her in the middle of the road. So it says, I know that yesh belibcha alai. There's something in your heart against me. Right? So, but it says she suddenly died on the road and I buried her. So the Mefarshim, for another Mefarshim learned that Yaakov was saying, because your mother died suddenly, I became completely sick. I was very sick. And therefore I couldn't even move. I mean, you could imagine the beloved wife dying, Yaakov physically became sick. So what am I supposed to do? Keep the body unburied until I feel better and take him to Amarat HaMachpelah? You can't do that. So I had to bury him on the road. Another explanation that they give is because she had a sudden death, I had little kids to take care of. They were little children. You know, Benjamin was just born. He was just a newborn. Yosef was 8 years old, max. That's it. So what am I supposed to do? Leave the kids with the servants and just rush to the city? I couldn't do that. So I have the reason to bury him on the road. These are the reasons, you know, that Mefarshim, Sfor and other Mefarshim bring. Rashi brings the Medrash. That's the main thing that I want to study with you. And Bezat Hashem, actually, we're going to appreciate our mothers. What a real Jewish mother is. So Rashi says that the reason why I did it because God commanded me. What was the commandment of God? He says, God showed me that in the future, when the Babylonians come and destroy the Beit HaMikdash, which was none other than Nebuchadnezzar, they're going to take all the Jews to exile, into Galut. And they were destined to pass by Kever Rachel. They were not going to pass anywhere else. They're going to pass by that place that Rachel is buried. And the Medrash goes through a very long story that when the Jews were going to exile, Abraham comes to pray, Yitzchak comes to pray for them, Yaakov comes, you know, Moshe Rabbeinu, Aaron HaKohen. None of their prayers were accepted. Like Abraham says, if they desecrated the 10 commandments, you gave me 10 tests. So take 10 instead of 10. God didn't accept it. Yitzhak says, I put my neck to be cut. Forgive them because of the sacrifice that I did. God didn't accept. So then Rachel comes. That's what the Medrash says. By the way, this is a Navi. It's brought down into Navi. There's a pasuk in Yirmiyahu that says, Kol Nishma, Kol Berama Nishma. There's a voice being heard in high heavens. And what's that voice? The Navi says, Rachel mevaka al baneha. Rachel is crying for the children. That they left Israel, they're not back in Israel. So then over there says, God tells Rachel, don't worry, I'm going to accept your prayers. And her prayer was, it says, God, what did my children do? They worshipped idols. Is there any jealousy come on to an idol? I was supposed to get married on the day of my wedding, and my father brought my sister instead. I'm a human being. I could have been jealous. I'm going to lose my husband. No way. I'm going to tell Yaakov that this is not me, this is Leah. But I held back my jealousy. So it says, God, you can't hold back your jealousy against the Jews, your anger that they worshipped idols. So it says, yes, I'm going to listen to you, and the Jews will come back. So they went in Babel only for 70 years, which is a long time, but they came back to Eretz Yisrael. They built a second Beis Hamikdash. So that's exactly the reason why Yaakov tells Yosef, the reason why I buried your mother on the road, it wasn't, only because I was sick, I became suddenly sick, because I had little children. He loved Rachel so much that he would definitely do anything to bring her to Marat HaMachpelah, but it was according to the commandment of God. The language of Rashi is, she should be Ezra Levaneha. Translation? Ezra Levaneha. Come on. Yeah, help to her children. Exactly. Now, were these Jews tzaddikim? These Jews were not tzaddikim. They worshipped idols. That's why they're going to exile. But that's Rachel Imenu. And not only that, they were not her children at all. There were only 2 tribes that were actually children of Rachel. Who were they? Yosef and Binyamin. Do you know only Shevet Binyamin stayed in Israel? Because when the first Beis Hamikdash got destroyed, that was after the exile of the 10 tribes. So Menashe and Ephraim were not even there, most of them. It was only Yehuda and Binyamin plus Kohanim and Levim. They were not even Rachel's kids. Only Binyamin was Rachel's kid. But nevertheless, she agrees, not that was by force. She agreed. Because since Rachel is the tzaddikus, if she was buried on the road, God made him agree. It wasn't done against her will in order to be a help for her children. Now, why did I explain this? I said, you're going to know the value of our mothers. And you're going to know, Be'ezrat Hashem, you're going to know the value of your sisters. You're going to know the value of your future wives. You see, guys, when we look, what's the difference to be buried in Marat HaMachpelah or going to be buried on a road? Marat HaMachpelah is a very holy place. You have Adam and Chava there. You have Abraham and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka and Yaakov and Leah, right? So obviously, spiritually, it's a very satisfaction. It's a place of satisfaction. You feel good. You know many people that are willing to pay thousands of dollars for the bodies to be carried by plane to Israel to be buried in the land of Israel. You know that, right? People that can't, they would pay money for the dust of Israel to come here, some little dust, to put it on their burial place. Why? One of the reasons are because land of Eretz Yisrael is so holy that is mechaper on the person. He forgives the person. The first people that get up for Tchias HaMesim are the Jews that are buried in Israel. It's definitely a very holy place. In Israel itself, Maras HaMachpelah is the holiest place for burial. Adam and Chava are buried there. So you see, for Yaakov, that was a spiritual satisfaction. But Rachel was ready to give everything up to be help for the children. Now let's look at our mothers now. You guys get a lot of spiritual satisfaction. Baruch Hashem, you yeshiva, you learn Torah, you put on tefillin, right? But women are patur from many of the mitzvot, correct? Ladies don't keep positive commandments that are limited to time. So when you look at simple explanation, oh, you're much higher, man. Yes, you are gifted, you're blessed, you could sit and learn. These ladies, come on, yeah. Yeah, they're good for nothing, they do a little bit, God takes it easy on them. But the truth is, the reason why women do not do mitzvot is because they take after Rachel Imenu. Yaakov is a symbol that he wants to have satisfaction from spirituality. He wanted to be buried in Marat HaMachpelah. We are like him. A lot of things satisfy us spiritually. 3 times davening, put on tefillin, beautiful, right? Learning, geschmack. Come on, let me hear that. Geschmack. Steig. Steig. That's it. This is it. They don't have that. Maybe they have a little bit, when they go to high school or something. But once they get married, they can't even go to daven in a shul because they have to raise the kids. In a place that there's no Eruv, Shabbos and Yom Kippur, they're stuck at home. They don't go anywhere. So this is the reason really is because they're higher. That's what Kabbalah says, they're much higher. Because they sacrifice their spirituality to be able to raise the children for the future generation. We are who we are because of our mothers. Our fathers too, but our mothers. The first person that says Shema Yisrael into your ears is your mom when you're born. Your father is not in that room. So we have to really give value and actually appreciate our moms. I know sometimes they're a nooch. They tell you, get up in the morning, go to school. Leave me alone, I want to sleep. Don't look at the police in them. Look at the God-given talents. Look at the beauty, the spirituality that they give to us. I promise you, when you become a father yourself, you won't hear your mother's police voice. Because you're a father then yourself. And you're going to be a police for your children. Then you're going to hear the motherly voice. That's what happens to me. My mom still calls me and says, please have some orange juice. All the way from Israel, I'm 57. She's worried about me. When I have a cold, I'm not drinking orange juice. That's the way it is. Even if you turn 100 years old, you're your mom's baby. But I don't see the police voice anymore. Because I'm a policeman for my own kids. And I really don't want to be a police. I want to be a fatherly voice. So remember that you're going to value your moms. And again, this is also a lesson for you. Which kind of a shidduch you're going to get married to? Somebody who's going to be a good wife for you, but even more important, a good mother for your future children. Thank you for listening, people.